Hit the drums. Post-game show on the original Bama Tailgate Show website, YouTube channel, and it's great to talk to all you guys after Alabama's dominant performance and a win against Middle Tennessee. What did you expect, right? But look, glad to have you guys here as part of the show, and this is a brand new channel, and you know that, but I want you guys to be a part of it. So if you're just hanging out for the first time or you know me from other places, this is my spot, and I want it to be your spot as well. So go ahead and like and subscribe, share, tell your friends about it. We'll talk Alabama football, whether it be the Tailgate Show, which you'll be able to watch every Friday night, or after the games, which I've been doing for a long, long time, radio, digital, and now with you guys. So like and subscribe. All right, let's get into it. Alabama with a huge victory against Middle Tennessee. Final score 56-7. The Crimson Tide were dominant. The big question was answered late in the week, but really it had been decided. I don't know. I started to hear it maybe a week ago that Jaylen Milroe was the starting quarterback, which when you think about it, I mean, he was the guy that came in with the most experience for this team. So why wouldn't he be the starting quarterback? And, he was excellent. And, if you pull up the stats, I don't know how much you can really wean from, a game like this against an inferior opponent. I mean, Alabama was a 39-point favorite, but I thought Milrow did really, really, really good. I liked both him passing and running. We wondered what he looked like in the pocket. 13 of 18, 194 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He had that amazing play where the snap was bad and he picked up the football. No one could touch him. I mean, he is just so quick when he's got the ball. When he was running, he tucked the ball in, something that he didn't do against Arkansas last year when he kept fumbling. But he had 7 carries for 48 yards, and he was actually the leading rusher for Alabama today. We saw all 3 quarterbacks. Tyler Buchner came in second. He was 3 of 5, 27 yards. And then we saw Ty Simpson, who came in through a pass, had 5 yards. Buchner ran one in for a touchdown. And so he got his first Alabama touchdown, the transfer from Notre Dame. And just of note, he was the guy that came in second, and then Simpson came in third. And that's what I had heard was going to be the case, and that's how it played out in today's game. So collectively, all the quarterbacks combined, 17-24, 226 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Running-wise, besides the quarterbacks, Chase McClellan saw the majority of the work early in the game, had 10 carries and 39 yards. And then Roydell Williams touched the ball, 7 carries. He had 36 yards. Justice Haynes in his first ever game for Alabama, 4 touches, 26 yards. So they really spread it out. Richard Young had 5 carries for 21 yards. Jam Miller touched the ball 4 times for 14 yards. So Bama's really deep in the running back room, and all of those guys got a chance in this game. So I guess that makes it tougher to game plan if you're Texas. And I thought that Alabama played a very, very stale, on purpose, not a lot of frills with the offense. It just looked like they were practicing. And that's exactly what this game played out to be, right? It was a practice game. It counts, but it was really practice for that showdown against Texas next week, which will have game day in Tuscaloosa and everything else going on. All right, receiving-wise, Isaiah Bond had a great catch in this game. He ended up with 5 grabs, 76 yards. He had a touchdown. Jermaine Burton had a touchdown, 3 catches, 62 yards. How about Amari Niblack? First touchdown of the season, 2 catches, 49 yards, big target. Kobe Prentice had 3 grabs and 20 yards. That was it pretty much. I mean, they tried to get the ball to a couple of other guys, Ja'Cory Brooks in particular, in the second half, but it wasn't there, and he wasn't one of the starters in week 1, so we didn't get a depth chart, but we found out that he wasn't starting. On defense, I thought Alabama looked really fast. They attacked. The secondary was good. Kool-Aid McKinstry, not only is he excellent on defense, but he's an excellent kick returner. We saw him featured in this ball game. Caleb Downs had 8 tackles, 6 solo tackles in the ball game. Deontay Lawson had 7 and 4 solos in the contest. And Bama's defense, I can tell you right now, the reason that Nick Saban has been so comfortable and confident is because he knew that this defense was set up for a good season. I could tell the entire time that he really wasn't worried about this team much. And I think being a defensive guy, he likes defense, and he's got a defense this year. They were in the backfield a lot. They made tackles. They didn't miss a lot of tackles. There weren't a lot of big plays. And I thought that against a team like Middle Tennessee, who can give you trouble sometimes, there was no trouble to be given. That Alabama went out there, handled business, took care of business on defense, and it was really just, hey, let's get the offensive line some reps. Let's run the ball. Let's throw the ball. Let's see what Jaylen Milroe can do. He gave a lot of looks in this game as far as just his ability to throw in the pocket, hit guys in stride, a couple of deep balls. But what I took away from this ball game is that Alabama's defense, and we'll find out a lot more next week when they take on Texas. But I thought Alabama's defense looked really good. I was impressed by the Tide defense in this game. So, as you kind of start to flip the page on this game, which kind of felt like a practice game, you know that the defense is going to be something that they can really count on this year. And I think that's exactly what makes Nick Saban happy. So the way that the scoring breakdown, if you didn't watch it, Alabama scored 2 touchdowns every quarter. So that's how they got to 56. It was a really good effort throughout the game. I thought that last year Alabama would have these quarters where they would stutter, they looked slow, they didn't start fast sometimes, and sometimes it would be that they didn't start fast at the beginning of the game or at the end of the game. But they were good the entire time through. They were really consistent. They played with a lot of energy, and we saw the talent that this team has. And you say, well, what was going to happen to Alabama once they don't have the superstar guys like the guys that left last year, Will Anderson Jr. and Bryce Young. And what you're seeing is that it's going to be a lot of attack, run the football, try to run the ball, and throw the ball when you need to, and don't be afraid to throw it. But when you need yards, you want to wear down your opponent. And I thought that Alabama was able to do that too. So all the way around, I thought that this was a really, really well executed game for the Crimson Tide moving forward. So special teams, let me get into that a little bit. Kool-Aid McKinstry with a couple electric returns. He had 5 punt returns for 66 yards. The long was a 33, and it was beautiful watching him make guys miss. Isaiah Bond had a return for a yard, but Kool-Aid is one of the best in the country, if not the best in the country at doing it. And he was on display in this ball game, and it was really fun to watch. I thought that the other thing that we lacked last year on defense were turnovers. Alabama really didn't get a lot of turnovers last year. Remember, we just kept waiting for all the turnovers. Like, when are they going to turn the opposition over? And that was one of the things that you kind of want in a game like this. What are you doing? Are you able to to get some turnovers? How's that going to look moving forward? And when you do, what do you do with the football? So they were constantly causing pressure on the opposition. And, I think that that's something that they're going to have to do next week against Texas is to cause turnovers. And obviously when they do that, do something with the football. You'd love to be able to score on defense if you could. So, taking a look at the team stats, Alabama forced a couple of turnovers in the game, a fumble and an interception, beautiful thing, right? And they were just dominant. 211 total yards for Middle Tennessee State. Bama had 431. They only threw for 133 yards. You're talking about a school and the Blue Raiders that really want to throw the football a lot. Bama limited that with their pass rush, and then those guys in the secondary, which were just breaking up passes and causing conflicts. And passing-wise, the Blue Raiders averaged 3.8 yards per play. Bama was almost at 10, 9.4. Rushing, Bama dominated in that area too, as you would expect, 205 yards to 78. And the other thing that was fantastic, 2 penalties, 19 yards for Alabama. So they didn't shoot themselves in the foot in this football game. So, a lot of pluses as we take the step towards Texas. And I think that's really all that I got to say about this one. I mean, it was a dominant performance. What I do want you guys to do, though, is as we build this channel, like and subscribe, as I talked about before, get in the comment section and the message board and tell me what you think about the game, who you liked, who stood out. When we get to 100 subscribers, we're going to do it live. So we'll be on live like always, and we'll talk about it then. So we're building. I mean, we just started the channel yesterday. So but this is when you talk about like starting from scratch. It really wasn't part of the game plan to do this, but you know what? It's what everyone who's in this business should be doing is to have their own platform where they can talk to everyone. So next week's going to be huge. We'll do our show from Innisfree. Again, we record on Friday. It plays on radio Saturday across the state. So if you want to come hang out, from 5 to 7 on Friday, we'll be at Innisfree. It's going to be a zoo in Tuscaloosa, and it's one of those zoos that you want to be a part of. It's going to be a huge week. Texas had a big win. Alabama had a big win, and we'll talk about that on Friday. But I'll dump some content on here as we move through the week, and I want to thank you guys for being part of the show. Again, the final score of this football game, and I'm going to put it up there one more time just because I think all you want to see is this one more time. Great start to the season. Alabama 56, Middle Tennessee 7. And for Alabama, moving one step forward here with a new team and a big win. So 56-7, the final. We'll talk to you again at least on Friday, but thanks for being part of the channel, and roll tide, everybody.